Hey, 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 it's Katrin, and you are at the Reconnect with Your Light 10-day challenge, and we are on day 8. So, day 8 is all about that self love feeling, right? And cultivating rituals, ooh, whatever they look like for you, to practice and nurture love for yourself. Okay, so going to try to keep this one shorter again today, but we'll see how it flows, right? The focus, you'll get the email, you'll get the WhatsApp, so all the details are in there as well. But create sustainable self love practices that you would love, that feel good, and you deserve to do every day, right? So here's the deal, when we practice something like a yoga practice, or if you were growing up, you went to baseball or softball practice, it's something we do repeatedly over and over and over to get better at. So if you would love to love yourself more, more fully, more wholly, more completely, more authentically, practice loving yourself. And in the beginning, especially, it can be really uncomfortable for a lot of people. And I know it was to me. And also start to shift your beliefs, possibly. We talked about beliefs yesterday on what self love looks like for you. I remember being in a workshop back in 2010, I think it was. And the woman speaking, who later became a coach of mine, Maria, and now she's on the other side of the veil, would say, self love is not about taking bubble baths, blah, 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 blah. And she went on. Well, I loved at the time and did for years and still do on occasion, not so much to take bubble baths, but hot Epsom salt baths. And we can go into all the details about that, but it felt good because it felt warm. And uh, I just loved to do that to myself. And a bath in the morning with with Epsom salts became one of my rituals for a while. And then the rituals shifted. So I want to invite you that as you're creating your ritual, know that it can shift and change over time, and that's okay too. So your activity is to design your own self love ritual for morning, afternoon, or evening, or all of the above, whatever feels right for you. And I invite you to keep it simple or small, or make it grandiose, whatever fits for you. But it could be 30 seconds or a minute. It could just be one long, slow, deep, conscious breath in the morning. I remember when I was on a retreat in Sedona, I want to say like circa 2013. I don't remember. My bunkmate, it was funny, we were in a house, probably an Airbnb back then, and I shared a bed and a room with another woman who was a coach and a financial planner from Wisconsin or Minnesota, but she was also a yoga teacher. And I had told her I had 3 little kids, and I didn't have time or energy to go to a whole yoga class in person, and they weren't as prominently online until later, until COVID hit, and then everything went online. Um, but I just didn't feel like I had the time to do a lengthy yoga session, even though I loved to, and I loved to go to Bikram yoga, and that would take like 4 hours out of my day between the travel and the getting there early and the showering after and blah, 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 blah. And so she said to me, she's like, Kat, your yoga practice could be one pose a day. She's like, keep it simple, keep it slow, and set your intention. So, what I'm inviting you to do as you set up your self love ritual is to keep it simple and keep it small. It can be that one breath, it could be 1 hour, and invite yourself to be fluid with it. It can change over time. The point is just to do something with this activity and take action, right? Because that's where the shifts and the transformation change. We can talk about this stuff, we can meditate it, we can think on it. The field definitely begins to activate stuff, but until we take action, we don't really lock it in or bring it into 3D or earth level. So I'm going to invite you to create your ritual and take action and do it every day. If you need to post in the WhatsApp to be accountable, do that. let us know what your ritual is. Or if you don't want to let us know what it is, let us know that you've completed it in the WhatsApp. Okay, the next thing on my list is another guided meditation or talk. So I'm just going to talk a little bit. And I want to tell you a story first that I didn't tell you yesterday about beliefs. So this isn't directly related to self-love, but how we learned in the past possibly to love ourselves or not love ourselves. So how many of you here have heard of the story of the chained elephant? I heard about it many years ago, and I've heard different iterations and version of it over the years in the industry that I'm in. The story of the chained elephant goes something like this. Mm, And there's a lot of truth behind it. So imagine an elephant at the circus, not the zoo, but the circus, where there's performers and tents and all the things. And, the elephant comes in and does his act, and he's very well trained in order to do that. When elephants are born, and the baby elephants, especially, well, all of them, but starting as a baby, they are chained to a post with a chain on one foot, and they cannot go very far. So imagine this. The part of the story, the other iteration goes that there is a little boy that goes to the circus with his father and sees this baby elephant chained to the post, waiting his turn, just being part of the things. And he asks his father about that. Like, why is the elephant chained? And the father tells the son that he is chained so that he doesn't run off and, go away or cause destruction or go in the tent. So that's how they can find the baby elephant. So now the elephant, as he grows, he pushes the chain, right? He tries to walk and he has to stop. Eventually, he learns that tension or the pressure from the chain just means stop and don't keep moving. And so the big giant elephant grows up and he's this big, powerful, massive creature, right? And he feels the tug of the chain on his leg and he stays outside of the tent, just like hitched to the ground. And he never learned to go out of the circle of the area that chain would allow. And the child wondered why the elephant just didn't break free. He couldn't understand. And the father had a hard time explaining it to him because it was all about the conditioning, and the child didn't really understand. And we as people are conditioned the same way as we grow to think a certain way, to act a certain way, to look a certain way. Our beliefs are conditioned into us. And if we've been conditioned in any way that it's not okay to love ourselves, that it's not okay to feel good about ourselves or feel worthy or shine our light as bright as it can, we dim down and we act like that elephant chained outside of the circus tent. And we never break free. And often the elephant isn't told that he can break free or shown other ways. He lives in his same routine day in and day out, and he goes in and performs and does what he's told, and it's magnificent and wonderful, and everybody claps. But he lives the same life day in and day out. So, my question to you, magnificent, powerful being that you are you living your life like the chained elephant? Are you loving yourself wholly, fully, and completely and letting yourself shine? Or are you allowing source energy to flow through you and out into the world in its brightest, most brilliant light? Are you afraid of it? Have you been conditioned by other programming to not trust it, to doubt it, to play small? To not love yourself? Do you have the mental loops in your head that beat yourself up? The woulda, shoulda, couldas, the, oh my God, I made a mistake. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Whatever it is, notice what you're noticing. What's going on inside of you? And do you want to shift it? Do you want to love yourself more? And if the answer is anyway yes, or even wants to be yes, give yourself permission to love yourself and then engage in this activity. What is one small ritual that you can begin to use that will help shift the energy of the programming and conditioning so that you can break free? You can run in the wild. You can be who you're truly meant to be and embody every bit of it. And it may not happen overnight. And I know some of you high achievers and rebels, you're done, you're in, it's all over, and you're busting out of that chain. But for a lot of us, we need to be gentle with ourselves, right? We need to go at a slower pace. We need to turn inward and look. There's so much we want to unravel. So, the energy work, if you do the energy work, and what I love what Kristen says about this, it kind of knocks off the low hanging fruit. It helps us emerge. We still need to do the work. You know, Sandra does so much of the work and helps people look at their shadow sides so the light can come in more, right? And then there's not as much shadow. So, my invitation for you today is to set some rituals or practice up and do it every day. Like that mirror exercise we did, maybe that's your ritual. You look in the mirror every single day and say, I love myself. Look at yourself and say, I love you. I love you wholly and completely. And notice every day if it gets any easier. Oftentimes, when we practice something, it gets easier and easier and easier. For me, I listen to music and I put in today's link like 4 songs. I couldn't decide. And one of the ways I learned to love myself was to listen to more music again, music that was uplifting, music that had meaning, and even stuff like right now, I just listened to something, I didn't put it in there, that's completely instrumental. And the reason that I don't play it for you now is because of the YouTube copyright that wouldn't let my video air if I did. So stop, take a breath, inhale and exhale fully, fully, and completely. And just ask yourself, what is one small thing that I can do that I'd be willing to do and able to do every day to start to love myself? Mine was listening to music and dancing. Back in 2010 or 11, 2010 is when I met her, but I started dancing at my friend Pamela's Divine Moves class. And she has songs that I love that she eventually recorded. We used other people's music too. I'm putting some of these songs into 8, 9, and 10. And I would chant and move to them. I was the youngest woman in the class. I was 42. There were women in their 80s. And the thing is, I still do this. I don't do it every day, but I chant and dance and sing just alone by myself. That is the way I love myself up. That is the way I connect to source. I wear hats. I'm going to take it off right now and bow to you with my hat. Thank you for still being here on this ramble. But I love to wear hats, especially in the winter. They're warm. I wear them in the summer now to help for the skin cancer that I had removed. Um, but that's a way of self-love, setting boundaries, you know, writing love letters, whatever it is. Small, small, incremental practices. And then I really want to look at my sheet for a minute. I was going to walk you through a practice, but I'm really, really inviting you to create your own. Make it small so it leads to lasting transformation. The thing is, if we make it too big, if we make it too ornate, if we make too many steps and this pressure on it, we're not likely to stick with it. So one of the songs I put in the playlist, and I don't remember if it's for today or yesterday, but it's by Karen Drucker and it's called Gentle with Myself. And this might be tomorrow's. I'm trying to look. Yes, multitasking. I couldn't figure out where to fit it because I started putting so many songs. And I'm going to invite you to be gentle with yourself in this process. Say one affirmation a day, the one we have in the email, and say, I deserve to give love to myself every day. You deserve it. You more than deserve it. You are worthy of it. And if that doesn't resonate with you, make one up. Take a song lyric. That's what I like to do. And this one I'm going to share with you. I am gentle with myself and I love myself like a newborn baby child. Right? And you can sing it if you want. One of the things I do is sing, even though for years my mother told me I had a really horrible voice. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. How gentle can you be with yourself in this process? Keep it simple. Design an activity that is gentle, that feels good, that is loving, and let it take shape and evolve over time. So today was focused all about us. And I hope that you will allow yourself to break free and love yourself up the way you deserve to be loved up or the way you want to be loved up and don't feel that way from other people or other things. This is your opportunity to do it for yourself. It starts here from the inside out. I will see you tomorrow when we talk a little bit more about extending love out to others. But we can't do that if we don't fill ourselves up first. So here's to filling yourself up first, and I will see you next time. And if you feel called or would love to, there's my crazy hair now that I can see myself. Put it in the chat that you created a ritual and that you're doing it. And if you want to share the ritual, go for it, but you certainly don't have to. Bye bye for now, and I will see you next time.